Greetings, everyone. I I am Mabuto Nicholas Mabena. It's Friday, the 3rd of October, 2025. Yesterday, we had a discussion about the children born in South Africa to migrants. After concluding that discussion, there are others then that started accusing us of misleading people, that what you are saying is not true. You are simply fabricating. You see, the problem with the social media is that some people only read the headline of the video, the title of the video. They don't watch the video. So they would even ask questions which have been answered in the very video. So someone sees the title of a video without watching the video, then someone formulates an opinion without understanding what it is. So we are not making things up. When we started this channel some few years back, we said we want to communicate things that are factual. We do not seek to mislead anyone. What we said in the video yesterday is in line with the Constitutional Court judgment. You can Google it. Just Google it, Constitutional Court judgment on children born to migrants. You will read it. So we're not making things up. And a number of your immigration lawyers have posted that since the judgment was delivered, they posted that on their website because they want you to come to them to do the application. Nothing wrong with that. They are not doing anything illegal. Yesterday, we said, according to the lawyer whom we've been working with on this, assisting with the applications, he says that it is no longer necessary for people to approach him, pay the consultation fee. Rather, they should go direct to the Department of Home Affairs, armed with the required documents. As simple as all that. But when we say this, then some who are lazy to read, to read one on internet, lazy to do research, cannot even watch a video, then they themselves start misleading. You must remember that there was a court case between the Department of Home Affairs and the following. That was Mariam Ali, Aden Sali, Kanu Koloko, Caroline Masugi, Mafi Nyanga, they went to court because they wanted to be declared South Africans, right? Because the Department of Home Affairs was refusing, because the Department of Home Affairs was arguing that they were born after 2013, that the amendment, the amended section 4 subsection 3 only applies to those that were born from 2013. That was the argument by the Department of Home Affairs. And they will know that no one born from 2013 has reached 18 years or has become a major. So it meant that those that were born before 2013 were not allowed to apply for South African citizenship by the Department of Home Affairs. Hence the court case, which went to High Court and up to the Constitutional Court. Because Section 4, subsection 3 of the amended Act says or stated that, I quote, a child born in the Republic of parents who are not South African citizens or who have not been admitted into the Republic for permanent residence qualifies to apply for South African citizenship upon becoming major if one, he or she has lived in the Republic from the date of his or her birth to the date of becoming a major, and two, his or her birth has been registered in accordance with the provisions of the Births and Deaths Registration Act of 1992. This is what was amended. So the Department of Home Affairs was arguing that only those that were born from 2013 uh, could apply, but not those born before. Meaning that, like I'm saying, if you calculate a person born on the 1st of January 2013, might be 13 years today, 12 or 13 years. I'm poor at mathematics. So meaning that is not at a major, he has not attained the age of 18. So excluding, therefore, those that were born. Let me just read this article. Even though the Citizenship Act of South Africa was amended in 2010, it came only into operation in 1 January 2013. In government, you cannot pass an act without its regulations. This means that even if the act was passed, the applicants could not apply because they do not know the modus operandi of applying. Further, of the Minister of Home Affairs at the time, it was Dr. Motsoaledi, to promulgate regulations for the application for citizenship in terms of Section 23 of the Act, led to the decision of the High Court ordering the minister to accept applications on affidavits, close quote. Right. Let me just continue here. Initially, the case was first taken to the Western Cape High Court, where the minister argued that 5 applicants did not fall under the terms of the amended Act because they were born not before 2013. The case was appealed at the Supreme Court, where the applicants were regarded to have been treated unfairly by the Department of Home Affairs. The judge remained by the decision of the Western Cape Court, which also then went to the Constitutional Court. So this is why we then said yesterday, which we have been clarifying, that if a child is born to migrants, we said, which maybe might want someone to go to court again, but our understanding, we might be wrong because we interpret things differently. Our understanding is that a child who is born to migrants who are legal in South Africa, that's our understanding. For instance, we always advise people, there are those parents that are not documented. Someone is not documented and says, I want to apply for a study visa for a child who is going to grade 1. We then ask, what documents are you using? In other words, what permit are you using in South Africa? When the parent then says they do not have any permit in South Africa, we then say you must first and foremost, you as a parent, have a permit. Then the child applies under you because the child is accompanying you. Because a child who's 7 or 9, 10 years cannot apply for a permit on their own. This is what we always say. So I'm saying it might be a different interpretation. We understand it differently ourselves, but that's how we understand it. So this is why I'm saying you might want to go and test it in court, but that's our understanding, and this is the advice that we always give. It is only a person who is a major, that is a person who's regarded as now an adult who's 18, who can apply for a study visa on their own. A child is studying, is born in Nigeria, Lagos, that does their education in Lagos. Then they qualify to study, say, at Wits University. They are in Lagos. They apply for a program, a university program at Wits University. They get accepted. Once they have that confirmation letter that they've been accepted, still in Lagos, they apply for a study visa. It gets issued. The child comes to South Africa on their own without parents. There are many foreign students that study in South Africa whose parents have never been in South Africa, who study in South African universities, whose parents have never been to South Africa. Just as we have many South African students who study in Cuba, in China, in Eastern Europe, in Western Europe, their parents have never been there, but they are there, they are studying because they qualify, they are major, right? They are 18. I'm not aware of a 10-year-old South African born child to South African parents who studies in China, for instance, because they are major. This is why a child who's below 16, when they travel, they must be accompanied by an adult. So that becomes our understanding. So this is why yesterday we said if a child is born to migrants in South Africa, they apply for the birth certificate. In fact, they assume the citizenship of their parents. That's what we said yesterday. Because you must be documented, right? Then when you become a major or a child turns 18, it is then that they apply for a South African citizenship. If they've continuously lived in South Africa, did their education in South Africa. And the application form, which I have seen at Harrison Home Affairs, because I once went there at Harrison Home Affairs, assisting another family, we were given that form. And there's a section where the applicant, who is a child, uh, will indicate whether they've uh, became a citizen of another country. It is there in the form. Because you have a passport, you have a study visa, you are 18, you indicate. If, again, our understanding, your country of origin does not allow for dual citizenship, right? You are then required to renounce the citizenship of your parents' country if that country of yours, that the origin, the country of your parents' origin does not allow dual citizenship. But if it allows dual citizenship, our understanding again is that you don't have to renounce. I know children born to Zimbabweans in South Africa, uh, when they get to 16, 17, 18, they then maybe wants to apply for a passport, Zimbabwean passport. They are told that they now need to have a Zimbabwean ID. So it is different from a minor, a 6 months old baby who applies for a passport because this December he has to accompany the parents to Zimbabwe. It's just a passport. You don't get an ID. Only required is a birth certificate. But when you are 17, 18, you're applying for a Zimbabwean passport, you must have a Zimbabwean ID. So what I've seen or what I've heard from some who are applying for passports who are required to produce the Zimbabwean ID, they are then required to first renounce the South African citizenship. We've never had engagement with the Zimbabwean authorities to understand this, but this is what we've been informed by those that are applying to say we were applying for a passport. They want in Zimbabwe a person to have a Zimbabwean ID because he's 17 or he's 18. And then first they have to renounce the South African citizenship, right? We also don't understand why Zimbabwe does this, because Zimbabwe accepts dual citizenship, right? You remember the constitution, the 2013 Zimbabwean constitution, and this was then ratified by the Zimbabwean parliament. Of course, it delayed. The 2013 constitution uh, uh, gave had a provision of dual citizenship, which the parliament of Zimbabwe needed to ratify. You then remember when Mr. Mutuma Mawere in 2013 wanted to contest for the presidency in Zimbabwe. His application to contest for the presidency was rejected on the basis that he had assumed the South African citizenship, right? Meaning that by assuming the South African citizenship, he automatically lost his Zimbabwean citizenship. Hence, they refused him to contest the presidential elections in 2013. Mr. Mawere went to court, High Court in Zimbabwe. He won that court case. You can Google. He won, and the court said he is a Zimbabwean citizen because the constitution allows for dual citizenship. But before 2013, you needed to renounce what was called your foreign citizenship. Remember, again, during 2000, in that chaotic land reform program, where those of Malawian, Zambian, Mozambican, and so forth origins were asked to firstly renounce origin of those countries where they were not born in, for them to be considered as Zimbabweans. And we know it was political, that was used as a political tool to prevent mainly farm workers from participating in the electoral, in the elections of 2000, 2002, because it was believed that they were going to vote for the opposition, right? But like I'm saying, you then had in the 2013 constitution, which had which has a provision for dual citizenship. The parliament took time to ratify it. Then it went to the High Court, when Mr. Mawere took the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission to court for refusing him to contest the presidency in Zimbabwe. So if your child then is born in South Africa, assumes your citizenship, thereafter, when they are 18, it is then that they apply to become a South African. I hope we are now clear. And I hope those that do not watch my videos, those who do not read some commentators, particularly on Facebook, they will not again say, Mapena, you are misleading people. Like I said, you can Google the judgment of the Western Cape High Court, which the 5 individuals took the Department of Home Affairs to court. The Department of Home Affairs lost the court. It went to the Supreme Court and then Constitutional Court. That's what it is. So we do not communicate anything that is misleading. Joe, in the morning, we note your comment. Comrade Solomon Segota, we note your comment. Nyashongwe Sounds, you are saying, hi, Mr. Mapena, thanks for your clarifications. We really appreciate your updates. Thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Comrade Solomon Segota says, nizohamba nithanda, ningathandi Mapena. But when I invited you that you must go together to the public meeting, which I will be addressing and the other the comrades in the ZCP in Bulawayo on the 8th of November 2025. So please accompany us. We'll be in Bulawayo We have two activities that weekend. On a Friday, the 7th of November, in the afternoon, we will have a political lecture. I will be in Bulawayo. Then on Saturday, the 8th of November, we'll be launching the Red October campaign. Though I'm not wearing red because I was not talking about the Zimbabwe Communist Party. I'm talking about the citizenship of children born to migrants in South Africa. Hence, I'm wearing my Highlanders jersey. And you say, Comrade Anthony Alexander, you know a lot of South African laws, but nothing about Zimbabwean laws. Are your whole life based on South African citizenship? But I've just spoken about the Zimbabwean citizenship, the laws in Zimbabwe. I've just explained this. I participated also. I was not a drafter, but we did the campaign around a new constitution in Zimbabwe. We started way back, 1997, campaigning to replace the constitution that was adopted in Lancaster House in 1979, 1980. Remember that NCA was formed in 1997. So we're members of the National Constituent Assembly campaigning for a constitution in Zimbabwe, which of course we then managed to get this one in 2013, though it's not the constitution that we want as the working class, but that's what we're to compromise on. So your allegations, Comrade Anthony Alexander, are unfounded. Uh, uh, Comrade Gloria Chiande says, Iowa did not tender no deeper information. Thank you very much, Bama Pena. Thank you so much. I think my Shona is improving a bit. On a serious note, I'm trying to learn Shona. I'm trying to learn Shona. Somewhere end of November or December, we should visit Mashonaland West as part of our political work. So it will not be good for me to speak through an interpreter when I speak to old people in Mashonaland West. So I try, and my tutor, though, is taking, is slowly in teaching me, but I'm trying to grasp it. We're not fighting to be South African citizens, Anthony Alexander. That's not it. We want migrants who are in South Africa to be legal. If you follow this channel, we are advising people on how to be legal. We do not encourage the influx of undocumented migrants. The reality, of course, is that you have so many migrants in South Africa. And the question is, how do they become legal? And we also give information to those that want to relocate to South Africa, just as South Africans are relocating to other countries. So want them to understand what is required of them. Say if you want to come and invest in South Africa, what is required of you? You want to come and start in South Africa, work in South Africa. So we give advice. And believe you me, speaking on behalf of Zimbabweans want to go back home. And take it this from me, the Zimbabweans want to go back home. This is why Zimbabweans are investing back in Zimbabwe for their retirement. Just visit Zimbabwe. You'll see how people are building their rural homes, drilling boreholes, building in cities. Even those that are in the UK, Europe, North America, Asia, they are buying residential stands, building their homes in Zimbabwe. Others are building in urban centers. Others are building in rural areas because they are preparing for their retirement. They know that at some point they will have to retire to Zimbabwe. So if the economy was to improve in Zimbabwe, trust me, the majority of Zimbabweans will go back. So if Zimbabweans were fighting to be South Africans and they did not want to go back to Zimbabwe, they will not be investing in Zimbabwe. It's a month end, just go to the border. Now, just check what is happening on N1. Omalaita, those courier vehicles carrying groceries to Zimbabwe. Check the Zimbabwean buses that cross to Zimbabwe from Joburg and the other cities in South Africa. Uh, there are many people that travel. So it is for the love of Zimbabwe. Zimbabweans love their country. There are very few Zimbabweans who will stay for 3 years without going back to Zimbabwe to visit. So people really want a proper leadership, a caring leadership in Zimbabwe that will turn the economy around. Then these Zimbabweans will go back to Zimbabwe. But because, as you know, if you follow what is dominating the political discourse, is the fight between Emerson Mnangagwa and his vice president, General Chiwenga, over whether Mnangagwa should continue or not. It is not the fight to turn around the economy. And when I'm wearing red, I say there's nothing, there's no one who's better. We cannot choose. Maybe let me put it this way. We cannot be forced to choose between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga. ZANU-PF as a political institution must go. Uh, Comrade Ngobizi Tandlovu, you say, thank you much, Mr. Mapena. Keep up good work. No, thanks a lot. Yeah, yes, we're there in 2010, even before when we were talking about the Aslam documents in 2002. Otherwise, comrades, enjoy your weekend. My football teams these days, they are not playing well. My Liverpool lost 2 matches in a row. We're playing Chelsea, I think tomorrow late afternoon. You saw Kaizer Chiefs, how it played. We drew with Amazulu. So I wish you a good sporting weekend, all of you, particularly Kaizer Chiefs, Highlanders, and Liverpool supporters. Goodbye.